pour yourself a glass of wine and get ready for this week's edition of Drinks at 6. Hey, Monica.
Jacqueline, I got a mouthful of wine. How unusual.
Well, it could be wine and bacon. It's hard to say, knowing you. How's it going?
Oh, I love the new bacon format.
Do you?
Yeah, thanks for making those again.
Well, you're welcome. But they were a big hit last time. Okay, so I have to tell you, I posted the recipe last week. And I just wanted, I don't know, do you notice at this time the lids are on, the little stems of the jalapeno? Well, I'm not, I have, a very bad attention span, so I guess what happened was I knew that, you always bit them right to the end, and then you were left with a little stem, but when I was reading instructions, I just kind of yeah, I get it. And I cut the ends off. So that meant all the cheese was going to pour out in the pan. That's why I'd use toothpicks to make a tripod to keep them up. The cheese wouldn't go in the pan. So anyway, this is my second attempt with the stems on. I think that you're going to find them a lot less messy than last week.
Lovely.
So yeah, these are I'm going to call them my famous jalapeno bacon wrap poppers, even though they're not really famous. But
yeah.
Anyway, my jalapeno poppers, bacon. That's all you need to know, bacon. So welcome to this week's edition of the Drinks at 6 podcast. Monica and I are here in the girl cave with our wine and our bacon. And just prior to turning on the mic, we were talking about Halloween because it's this weekend of little ghouls and boys.
And I was going to make the bacon chocolate thing, but I ran out of time. Yeah, that kind of half grossed me out, and then you said you were making these, and they're so much better.
It kind of grosses me out. I think I either have to be drunk or PMSing to really allow that to happen in my system. So, hey, okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Halloween.
Yeah.
I just want to say that why I love Halloween is this is the time of year that all the networks put on all their old scary movies.
Okay,
yeah.
I was just going to say, good God, man. I can't believe you in your horror movie.
Are you kidding?
When I tune into your Facebook, I'm terrified. I'm afraid to see what you're watching.
Have you seen?
No, I haven't.
Well, you need to wake up and find your inner bravery.
Anxiety.
There's these 1-minute horror videos that I frigging love. I'm going to post one on your page and ruin your life.
Oh, God.
It's called Selfie, and this chick is she's on the phone and talking to some guy, and she's like, hang on, I'll take a selfie. And, pushes her boobs up and, it's all ready. She takes a selfie, and she looks at it. And when she's in her living room, when she looks at it, way back in the background, there's a figure. And it just goes downhill from there in 60 seconds of awesome scariness. So I'll post that for you. There's another one called Bedtime or Tuck In. It's about a little kid. That'll ruin your life too. So based on that, I guess you've ruined my first question. What's your favorite scary movie? You don't have yours. Is probably some Disney thing, isn't it?
You know what I love? I love it's probably not scary. I didn't find it scary at all, but some people might. The Others with Nicole Kidman.
I love that movie. I
love ghost movies.
I love ghost movies.
I don't even mind gore in a ghost movie because
I'm not. You know what? I don't think gore movies are scary. Saw didn't scare me. It's just gore.
It didn't.
No,
hate. It's not even the gore. It's the violence.
Yeah, but it's also a bad idea to give psychos these ideas, right? You can't give ghosts ideas, so that's why movies like Paranormal Activity are just fine. But, Wait,
I have a question for you. What was the movie with Harry Connick Jr. where he... Copycat. It was a serial killer movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was so scared, Jacqueline. I had to turn all my Harry Connick CDs upside down so I couldn't see his face.
Oh my God! It's not like you guys broke up. He was just in a scary.
It felt like we broke up.
Okay, I'm gonna give you true scary. That's not. No, you're so feather light. You are. No, what I need to do is tie you down in a dark room and make you watch George C. Scott in The Changeling, not the Nicole Kidman one. Or what's her name? Angelina Jolie. No, this is the 1970s where he moves into a mansion. He's a musician. His son and his wife have died in a tragic accident. Anyway, it's a brilliant movie. It'll torture you for life. It's
great.
really good. You'll hate.
I like Simon Pegg.
What is that?
He's a British actor. He does. Is it Night of the Living Dead? The funny.
Right. Yeah. No, we're not talking. No. Okay, so I want to know from you guys, you listeners, what is your favorite all-time horror movie? Mine is gonna be The Changeling's pretty bad. The Ring destroyed me for life. Also, The Woman in Black. That was really scary. The second one's crap. Don't watch it. Paranormal Activity really ruined me for a while, but then I watched it with my parents the other night, and now I'm kind of like, yeah, you watch a horror movie too many times, and you're over it. But yeah, there's some good ones. And then,
I'm stressed out.
Are you stressed? Okay.
Once Wayne said to me, it was when Saw came out, he said, you got to watch this movie with me. And I said, no way. And he goes, okay, here's the deal. You watch it with me, and then we can watch whatever you want to watch after. So we didn't start watching it till midnight. 2:00 in the morning. I made him Win a Date with Tad Hamilton.
Oh, you are icky. I wouldn't have done that for you. I don't love anybody that much. I would have been like, thanks for being a sucker, and good night. Do you guys have Halloween traditions in your home?
No, we used to. Now we're in a townhouse, but when we had a house with a big front yard, we used to do the whole graveyard thing.
Did you?
Dead bodies. Actually, 1 year, my husband and his friend, they built Ghostbuster costumes. And they were awesome. And then the kids were going crazy. But we don't have, even though we're in a townhouse area, the kids don't come. They go to their friends' houses or whatever, so.
Well, I have to tell you that I live, the neighborhood we live in, we call this street Big Fish because it's a block long. There's 70 kids. There's a ton of people on the street who work in film and advertising, whatever.
Oh,
so
God.
we get, the guy up the street, Mark. He's awesome. He does, the fire shows. He juggles fire and swallows it. The first year I was here, they had fake, blowing up smoke up the street. Fake, why can't I think of the word?
Dry ice?
Dry ice. And
high school dances.
Some guy, or this guy, Rob, up our street, had a big scary movie going on in his window, which was not age appropriate, but it was scary. But everyone just does it right up on this street. It is amazing. And, with Maddie only being 4, she only goes up and down the street, and that's, it's enough homes to knock her out. And then she goes to bed, I steal all her candy.
Evil mummy. Now there's a horror
in a room and drink wine. So I love Halloween, but I have to this year. Maddie's going. I don't know if you listeners remember from the last podcast. It still hasn't changed, but it will change on the night of Halloween. But she's going as Batgirl, or some rendition of Defender of Butterflies. Oh. So anyway, it's funny because I was talking to my parents about her costume and costume mishaps, which I think we all have. But my costume mishaps were the fault of my parents. So one year when I was 3, I went as Tweety Bird. And do you remember those costumes where it was just a plastic mask with that crappy elastic string around your face, and then you wore the paper outfit?
Yeah. And it had the metal sticks and the
Yeah. So I went as Tweety Bird, and my brother is something else, and him and his horrid friend told me to stick my tongue, because it has a tiny, tiny little hole where the mouth is.
Yes. Oh no.
I stuck my tongue out of my Tweety Bird mask and I couldn't get it back in. It was like a porcupine. It was like my tongue went out, every bristle went up, and it wouldn't come back in. I don't even remember what happened, but I hated Tweety Bird.
Did they put Pop Rocks on your tongue while it was out?
Oh,
that would have been good.
There's the worse than Saw. I'm so glad that I didn't know you when I was 3, because I wouldn't be podcasting with you now. You'd be in prison. And the other one...
Wait, have you been Tweety Bird since?
No, why?
Oh, okay.
No. Did you not hear me? I'm in therapy. My tongue was out the mask, and I was like, imagine if you were looking at this little Tweety Bird with the big eyes and a freaking little tiny innocent pink tongue wagging out, and a kid crying. Tears. Yeah, tweet, tweet.
Oh,
yeah,
my
nothing
goodness.
funny about that. And then in kindergarten, my dad was in charge of my Halloween costume. So I had a big Raggedy Ann doll who was bigger than me. So he put the Raggedy Ann doll on me and put freckles on my face, put braids in my hair. And then he put red leotards on me, but you know how Raggedy Ann has the striped legs? Mm-hmm. So he put tape all around my legs to do the stripes, all the way up to my friggin' crotch. And so I had to pee, and I couldn't get my leotards down because I had tape all the way around my thighs, and I peed myself.
Aww.
So I've never been Raggedy Ann since either, in case you're wondering. Not even a slutty Raggedy Ann. I haven't even done that.
I think it's time to bring that back.
It's time to bring that hoe back.
Oh, God, that's great.
I don't trust redheaded people, and I don't trust my dad. And I will not wear tights with masking tape.
That's amazing. All right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Is
I have a commonality with you on the tape. So, in 1980, the best movie of all time was released. You know what that is. That's right. And I decided I was going to be Kira, Olivia's character from Xanadu. And in that movie, she wore roller skates. Yes. She had a beautiful dress that looked like it was made out of curtains. It was all flowing,
gauzy and gorgeous.
Yep.
And she had those leg warmers.
She had leg warmers. She had the little clips in her hair. Remember, not banana, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
And then the beautiful little ribbons in her hair. And then whenever you saw her going from this world to where she came from, she'd have this beautiful glow around her, right? Yeah. Well, I wanted that glow, girl. So I had to have the roller skates. My parents said, we are not buying you roller skates for a costume. If you want roller skates, you can save up your own money and buy them yourself.
They were like $80 or something.
Yeah, they were like $80. Right, so if we went roller skating, you rented. I never had my own skates.
Yeah, roller gardens.
So I put it out there to my friends that I desperately needed roller skates. And my dear friend Joanne Wright said to me, you can borrow my brother's roller skates. And I was like, okay, not even thinking that they're probably going to be black. So I had black roller skates, which I wasn't happy with because it didn't look like pretty Olivia.
Didn't you get, like,
it's so sweet of her brother to lend me those.
But figure skating, right?
I know, the thing, the cover. Didn't even think of that. I think I probably got the skates the day of, much like I live my life now. So my mom and I went to a secondhand store, got me a dress that was very Olivia-like, and then I said, Mom, how are you going to do this glow around me? Like, it's really, really important. That I have to have that. So she went out, and this is like 1980, okay? Goes to good old Canadian Tire and gets bright orange neon electrical tape and tapes me down the side of the dress, down my body. I don't know if the skates had some on. And then right across my chest, she cut the tape and wrote Xanadu across my chest. So I was cool with that. The skates irritated me after about 5-10 minutes because I like skating down roads and driveways. Like, terrible. My ankles were in the dark. Black skates, not my size. I was horrible. The first door that I went to, I was so excited about my costume, and I couldn't wait for whoever answered to see me in all my glory. She went, "Oh, Canada! It's so nice to see kids out here supporting their country." So whenever I'm like depressed and I'm watching Xanadu, my husband goes, "Have you got Canada on up there?" Anyway, so the reason I asked you if you ever replayed those costumes was in 2010, I brought back Canada. I did it again. My mom made me the dress. I got beautiful high white boots because I knew she wore white boots. Mm-hmm. The leg warmers, the ribbons. And Wayne says, okay, we're going to like a bar to see a band, right, for Halloween that year. He goes, you know, nobody's going to know who the hell you are. And I go, I don't care. I actually look like her now, and I'm going to rock it out. I don't care if anyone knows who I am. It doesn't matter. So I walk into this bar, and it's in Hamilton, and we're seeing this friend's band. And it is like bikers, and like it's like a rockin' crazy crowd, right? Anyway, the biggest, scariest biker comes right up to me and goes, "Cool costume, man. Love Xanadu." Great Kira costume. And I was like, oh my God. So anyways, he bought me a beer. I hung out with him all night.
Did you make out with him?
No, I was married. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Isn't that great?
I would have known who you were right away.
Exactly.
Especially if you started singing. Known.
Yeah.
Well, the roller skates gave it away. She didn't have that toe stop on the front of her roller skates, though.
No, she was really professional.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When's the last time you watched the movie?
You know what? I tried to download it about a year ago. I haven't seen it in years.
Really?
I need to see it.
We need to watch that.
I'm just going to download it tonight.
That might be the equivalent of a horror movie to you now.
No, it won't. You know what? You know that line Matrix sings, "We should never meet our heroes"? Just maybe if I watch it now. No, you know what? I drew... You know that scene where she's standing there? It's on the album cover. The arms up like this.
Yes.
I drew that a million times in all my sketchbooks. I drew her a billion times. I wanted
Do you
to
have
be
your
her.
sketchbook stuff?
No.
Oh.
No.
And the ELO symbol?
Yeah.
Electrically. Oh.
Yeah. I am going to watch it because I still
it's so good.
love the music from it because it reminds me of that whole time. But I loved Olivia Newton-John. I loved her in Grease. That's when I fell in love with her. And then with Xanadu.
And you know what? You know what's great about it? It was sort of like the first experience I had with, like, New Age thinking and asking the universe for things and all that kind of stuff. And I remember the scene where her boyfriend says to her, he felt like an imposter. He said, "This idea I have for this nightclub, it's never going to work. What am I thinking?" And then he teams up with Gene Kelly in the movie, and they make it happen. And she goes, "Well, maybe the dream's big enough for both of you." And they do it together.
Okay, if Olivia Newton-John is listening to our podcast,
please don't. I did
Can't you
meet her.
email her and say, "Hey, can you listen to our podcast, please?"
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem. Get right on it.
Kids are tight. Yeah. Oh, Xanadu love.
I put a roller skate on the necklace I made her.
I have a question about Halloween. Now that we're older, we're not cute, we're not peeing our pants, and you're not wiping out on roller skates.
We're just spitting wine.
Why? Yeah. Not in a girl cave. That's red wine. Those are pink curtains. Why do girls dress like sluts? Like, to me, it's all about goofing around and making the biggest arse out of yourself possible. Why do girls have to be sexy hamburgers and or like a hot chipmunk or like, oh, I'm a nurse, guess what's coming? Yeah, like, what is, like, why? Why does that happen?
It happens to me.
What, you were a sexy
No, I don't.
something?
No, I don't have to be necessarily. I'll say I have to be a sexy something. I don't have to be a slutty something, but I have to be a sexy something. I don't know what it is. Even when I see a woman who's gorgeous and then dresses like a non-sexy hamburger, I'm like, why would you waste this night wearing that when you could have worn like a hot nurse's outfit? And it's amazing.
Up. Are you
I know,
kidding?
isn't that terrible?
It is terrible. You are so shallow. Get out of the girl cave.
I read this very interesting article on this blog called About Face, and the title of her blog is, "Are you dressing like a male chauvinist pig this Halloween?" Sorry, a female chauvinist pig this Halloween.
You are.
I know, but I don't know what it is. It's like, I guess because you can hide behind the makeup and but I know all my costumes. Like, I've been Cher twice. Once as a child, once as an adult.
Like with a low-cut top and...
silver. I got silver jeans. Like, I did the whole, like...
Okay, I wore my mom's tight perm wig and my brother's judo outfit, and I went as Luke Skywalker.
God.
I have never been sexy. Anything. Not even a sexy friggin' hot dog.
Even when I was a kid, like 10, I had to be when Rhinestone Cowboy was like a huge hit.
God.
My brother said, "I'm going to be the Rhinestone Cowboy." I go, "I'm going to be the Rhinestone Cowgirl." And I went, woo! And I got like fake eyelashes and
So while I was walking around with a bleeding tongue, you kill me. Okay, so my challenge to you this Halloween, I want you to go as you've got 2 to 3 days to pull this together. I want you to go as a sexy Rubik's Cube. As your challenge, and everybody is going to be waiting for your pictures on our page. Hashtag drinks at 6, hashtag tipsy at 6, and I think we're going to add a new one, hashtag slutty at 6. Okay, I want to see your slutty Rubik's Cube. So are you kidding me? You didn't see Mean Girls? What's wrong with you? Tina Fey wrote that.
She did?
Yes,
okay,
and she's
right
in it.
Okay, you know what? I clearly need
so
to
the next
be,
time
there's a world outside of 30 Rock with
Todd Hamilton in another bad movie. Put on Mean Girls. So Lindsay Lohan, she plays a girl, South African girl named Sadie. Oh, I can't remember how you say her name. Anyway, in the movie, she has a great quote about women in Halloween. She says, "In girl world, Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything about it."
Perfect.
It's so true, right? Who can? You're like, I am a slut. Yes, you are a slut. I am a slut. You are a slut. Okay, we're done. Move on. Let's talk about politics. Oh, how was Jimmy's grade 6 graduation?
Oh my god, I love it.
So, so what is it? Like, I need to bear some, like, you should be dressing up. Like, what?
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's the idea of, I think, for me, I want to look sexy. Yeah, definitely it's sexy. It's not slutty, but
why
I also
you do
need to
sexy
attach...
every day?
Well, don't I? No, I'm kidding.
Well, you do.
No.
But
I bacon in my cleavage. But I don't know. But I also like the idea of at for Halloween, you can like transform yourself into being somebody that maybe you wouldn't have the guts to be. Wouldn't you like to be Audrey Hepburn instead of a hamburger?
No, I want to be like an old lady carrying a big wrestler on my back. Like, those costumes are funny to me.
Wow.
Because they're like creative.
Awesome.
They're really hard to drink in and they're really hard to pee in, but I don't know.
Really?
I just feel...
So you were like the customer for those fat machines, like those with the wind thing in it. That blade.
What?
It's like a fat suit, and it has like a fan in it, and it turns on, and you can like, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
If your arms are that far, I'm a logistical Halloween dresser upper. I'd be like, how am I going to bring this arm back into my face to eat candy and drink wine? I can't, so I wouldn't do that. I'm not that stupid. I'm still practical.
Oh my god!
No, I think this year I'm going to go as Maddie. And I saw this great post. The post was something like, my daughter asked me what it's like to be a grown-up, so I interrupted her every 2 seconds until she started crying and said, there, that's what it's like. Oh, man. What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? What's that? Why?
Oh, God, the why. Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
I want to know from our listeners, do you dress slutty or do you dress like me?
Or sexy.
No, do you dress sexy or do you dress sort of like, do you like to make fun of yourself on Halloween? Mm-hmm. I love to make fun of myself because it's the only time I can, and then it's kind of like the thing. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. Yep. Okay. Moving on.
I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. Okay. Do you want to hear something from this article?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this girl, right? She's hilarious. Our culture simultaneously shames and rewards female sexuality, so it makes sense that girls grow up having very conflicted feelings and ideas. Nothing is inherently wrong with a young woman wanting to feel sexy. However, looking like a Playboy bunny is only one of the infinite numbers of ways to achieve that feeling. We can dress up as anything on Halloween or any other day to express our unique talents, interests, personalities, senses of humor, strengths, etc. So why do so many of us choose to be sexy for Halloween? Anyways, yeah, she just goes on and on, but
she just goes on and on.
Yeah, and then she says, we would like to believe we have achieved sexual liberation and gender equality. We have not. But maybe by focusing on our abilities to dress provocatively, it's easier to forget the opportunities and rights that we still lack, the violence and discrimination we constantly face.
And you dress like that and some guy attacks you and it's your fault, right? You dressed for it.
Yeah.
Well, we won't go there, but I just want to know, is that like a blabberskite? You said she goes on and on.
Well, no. Oh, blather. No, because it's interesting what she writes on and on, but in a very interesting way. And then she's talking about a book here. Have you ever heard of this? With the new Female Chauvinist Pigs, Women and the Rise of Raunch Culture by Ariel Levy.
No.
Witty and provocative, painfully funny, as it documents the rise of trashy, raunchy, really, really bad female behavior, Levy's newly published book may well provide the next aha moment in the how North America women see themselves.
That is amazing to me. You've just said all this off the top of your head without reading anything. Your powers of memory are remarkable.
One public speaking gig, and I am.
Well, yeah. I'd love to post the link to her book because
I'll send you the link for that. Yeah, it is interesting.
But I want to ask our. I want to ask our listeners. And hurry up on the response because we're only 3 days away and I've got to find something for my kid. What's the most unique Halloween costume you've ever seen or dressed up as? And I want to know, are you a sexy dresser or a silly dresser? I want to know what kind of costume you sort of gravitate towards. I think you and I are very opposite on this. Mm-hmm. But if I see you out trick-or-treating, I'll push you down on your roller skates.
Damn you.
I'll take your candy. Okay, you're a nut job. All right. So I have a funny Maddie moment from this week. I have a little pumpkin for her to go trick or treating, and she's 4. I just have to keep reiterating that because this kid thinks she's 12. How much candy, A, can you carry? You're not going to carry. You're going to make me carry it. And B, I'm eating it. You're not. P.S. I'm in control, pal. You can have it when you're 16. So, it's funny because, this little pumpkin, we've used it for 2 years. And this year she notified me that the pumpkin wasn't big enough. And so she suggested a bag and pulled out, I don't know if you've been to IKEA. I have all these IKEA bags in the basement just outside our girls' cave here. You know, the big plastic ones where you're bringing a lot of crap home?
You're allowed to take those home?
You have to pay for them, criminal. Maybe you could be a jailbird in your Halloween, a sexy jailbird.
No, that I'm into.
But anyway, she suggested that might make a good Halloween bag this year. I'm okay, A, you're only going down one street, so don't think you're going further. B, you're only going down one street once. And C, if I eat all that candy, I'm going to be the size of a fishing village, so I don't need that around here.
And I got a D. Is anybody on the street giving out bacon? I don't think so.
Oh, shit.
If they were.
Anyway, bacon and wine for the adults and apples for the kids. Hey, that's how you get kids not to come to your house. You give them plain potato chips or apples. Because then their parents are throw it out. You know what? Lady that you spent all that time with, her kid, she probably put a razor blade in it. Throw it out. Yeah, but it's cheap, right? And then no one comes to your house anymore. And then
what's your favorite Halloween candy?
I used to love Kiss candies, but I'm going to say still Tootsie Rolls.
Really?
Yeah.
Kiss candies are the hearts?
Candies, no, Kiss candies are the ones that are always in the black, orange wrappers, and they all have a Halloween theme. They're kind of like a toffee, caramel toffee, but they have a totally different flavor.
Wow.
They're like a toffee candy. They're called Kiss candies. Well, that's what my mom called them.
Oh, okay.
Probably caught her kissing someone, and I didn't even she gave me candy. I don't know, but so they're Halloween specific, I think. But actually, no, Tootsie Rolls are my favorite. What about you?
I love rockets.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And you just reminded me of those remember the caramels in the cellophane?
Oh my God, I love those
Yeah.
Still. I love those
And what else was a good, Pop Rocks. Who doesn't love Pop Rocks?
I just think that,
that
just reminds me of my Tweety Bird costume.
Yeah.
But you know what? I used to love every kid loved when you got a chocolate bar, like an actual friggin' chocolate bar. But I love, they make them, but only in specialty places can you get them. But the $100,000 bars, do you remember those by Nestle?
God, yeah.
You can still get them. Caramel, covered with Rice Krispies, covered with
Jesus.
chocolate. But yeah, you don't get them you don't get them Halloween size, but they're still alive.
Okay,
still alive. They're called 100 grand bars now.
Nice.
The Leslieville Pump has them. I buy them in bulk. And you have to have them in the fridge and eat them cold. Okay. So I'll pick you up one next time.
Please do. And candy corn.
And wagon wheels I used to love. I'm going to buy wagon wheels and put them in everyone's bag. Does anybody remember wagon wheels?
They've got smaller, didn't they?
They're way smaller. They're wagon hamster wheels now.
Yeah,
we did. Uncle Wayne had one. I sent them home. Okay, so tell us your favorite costume, favorite treat.
Maybe make a cocktail. A candy corn margarita.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. I just made it up.
You just made that up? Okay, Monica, I'm writing it down. A candy corn margarita. If you had said martini, it probably would have been easier on you. But, okay, listeners.
Oh, I got way too much to do in the next 3 days.
Monica is going to come up with a recipe for a candy corn margarita, and I'm posting it before Halloween. So, Monica, you have 2 days to come up with that. Okay, wait for it.
That means I get to ditch the costume. No Rubik's Cube. I'll do the margarita. That's the compromise.
Wait a minute. We have to have a weigh-in. Would you rather Monica dress as a slutty Rubik's Cube or come up with a recipe for a candy corn margarita? Let us know. Okay, I'm going to get off Halloween now because I'm going to be inundated with it for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be peeling my kid off the ceiling on the night of Halloween with
Before
all the
we
sugar.
get off of Halloween, can I give you the word of the day?
What?
Might help you with the Halloween in your head.
Oh, okay.
Chad.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
No, he's
Chad.
sick.
Cannibalistic humanoid something dweller. Chad. Look, that's a name. Chad Lowe. That's Rob Lowe's brother. Is that a thing?
It's a thing.
Is it a noun? Or a verb?
It is a noun.
Oh, it's a noun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 Wow, it's a noun?
Yeah.
Chad. You sure you're pronouncing it right?
I'm.
Okay.
I'll pronounce it the German way. Chad. C-H.
But maybe it's C-Had. Like, we had that last... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Chad. All right.
Do you know what it means? No.
No.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Like, I can't get Rob Lowe's brother out of my head right now.
Use it.
Okay.
Rob Lowe's brother is a noun.
I can't do this one. Okay, Halloween?
Well, don't get too distracted by that. I'm going to try to make it Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Just...
oh god, I hate this. Okay, so when I used to be a horseback rider. No, scratch that. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go. Okay, don't get me mad, or I will go chat on your ass.
Oh, good one. But
Okay. And see how I didn't even explain what that was. Okay, what is it? You have to use it
for Halloween this year. I bet you one character that you would love to be would be Carrie from the movie Carrie with the blood.
Right? Yeah.
So in preparation for that costume,
yeah,
I'm gonna get my 1-hole puncher out and drop little shads out of it.
Okay. Why? What are the chads
to make confetti? Was there confetti in that movie?
I don't know. It was pig blood. What the hell are you talking about? You gotta actually watch a movie before you're gonna throw it in to this stuff. So it's like paper dots, paper circles, paper polka dots.
It's a piece of waste paper produced by punching a hole.
Okay, if they were soaked in blood, then and still not even. Okay, I'm taking the point. I'm taking it because you suck. Okay, and go home and watch Carrie. Pig's blood. No, confetti.
That would be my version of Carrie.
That's what your mom told you. Oh,
No.
they put confetti on the poor girl. Now your mom is Scottish or whatever that was.
I was going to say, my mom's not Irish. Oh, God.
Okay, you suck.
That
was
a bad one.
That was your worst one.
That was a
ever.
worst one.
I might have to take over Word of the Week and you can take over the Maddie moment.
Oh, boy. I got boink moments.
So, speaking of Maddie, again, you had a topic you wanted to talk about, and you wanted to talk about how couples argue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
and
that.
I said, speaking of Maddie, because raising a kid together with someone is the quickest way to have an argument.
Oh, yeah, baby. We'll try raising a dog together, okay?
Oh, dear goodness. No, but fur kids are just as hard.
No, they're not. I think that's the biggest lie ever. You guys just say that to be nice. There's no way.
Okay, you're right. I'm just saying that to be nice.
God.
You got it easy, sister.
Yeah, I got it real easy.
You're just
Having
like,
a child.
Are you having a hard time? In your kennel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. See you later. Go in the
There's a
basement.
little
I'm
hamster
out of here.
cage with
Into
a
the
wheel
crib.
and a bottle. See you Sunday.
Okay, that's abuse.
Oh, okay. But what if I said that on Sunday morning?
Oh,
or
yeah,
Saturday
okay.
night? Then it's not. You didn't see? See? This is why you argue with your husband. You didn't even give me a chance to explain it. You assumed that what I said was abusive. That's why you and your husband argue. Next topic.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have to ask you something about arguing, and this is totally ridiculous, but let's start it off with something funny. So, you know, as you get on in your relationship, you start figuring out productive ways to argue, non-productive, and depending on the mood you're in, you pick one or the other. But and please don't judge me when I say this, but
I'm judging.
So, what sign is Greg?
He's the nasty, the angry one.
Oh, shit.
He's the difficult guy. He's January.
He's a Capricorn.
Yes.
Okay, you got the same problem as me.
Don't they have the horns?
Yeah, you got horns.
Do they?
Same.
Yeah.
So we're both Leos. This is going to be great.
So gentle.
Yes.
And sweet.
So Leos purr, and they're like
and we're
beautiful cats, right? And then you've got a Capricorn, and I have a Taurus.
Oh, dear.
And my Taurus is born year of the bull, so don't even complain to me, girl.
I can't, because I actually don't know what that means, and I don't know. Greg was born year of the
year of the
righteous.
monkey.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm year of the rooster. Anyways.
Okay, good.
So when you look at all this stuff, which who knows if it
With a
means
blank
anything,
stare.
with a blank stare. Now listen, Jacqueline, you're going to learn something. As my dad used to say to me, let me explain this to you in a way that even you can understand. But he never would have had a horoscope talk with me. He would have said, Moni, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, so when you look at it, I did this one day. I thought, okay, so I'm a Leo and Wayne's a Taurus. So a Leo is like a purring little cat, right? That will flare up if you push it too far. Mm-hmm. And a Taurus is a bull. And when a bull sees red, it gets mad, right? So Wayne is a reactor, and I am a stand back and think about it. So when we have an argument, you're not a stand back and
I'm
think.
not. I'm a reactor. I'm with Wayne.
Yeah, I'm not a reactor.
I'm a Leo with horns.
But I think I trained myself somehow.
Okay.
So when I look at these differences, I say, okay, so he's red, and I can't be red if he's red. So I'm going to give it to him. I'm actually going to go so far out of my comfort zone that I'm going to tell him that he's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm going to say I understand. And I actually do understand. Yeah. Maybe I don't think he's right, but I want him to feel that I'm listening. So I'm going to do all that stuff the therapists tell you to do. I'm going to make him feel empowered and thank him for expressing himself to me. And I'm going to pet him. Pets. Stroke.
Like real pets? Like hands?
No, with my words.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to stroke him, right?
Okay.
And then he's going to calm down. And what do lions do when they get their prey?
Oh my God, then you're going to kill
them.
them.
And then you go in for the jugular. When they least expect it.
Holy crap, I'm going to totally do that.
Do it, it works. But you know
pounce.
what? I mean, no pouncing. You have the power not to pounce. You can pounce later.
I have to take a moment to do that.
Yeah,
that's not
it does
for me,
take,
so.
yeah. And I mean, I don't mean that in a negative way, but it does work, you know?
So how do you get him when he's like all calm, submissive as
So
Romano,
when he's submissive, once he's submissive, then we can have a conversation. Basically, that's just what happens, is then a conversation happens. And then I'll review all those things where I said, you're right, you're this, and I'll say to him, so when you said this and this, like, where was that coming from? Like, what were you feeling at it? I know I'm sounding, you're probably like, yeah, okay, like, let's just fight.
No, but I'm like,
but I'm not, it is, it's a lot of work. But we don't have children. We have time to do the work. And by the way, when we argue,
yeah,
I know, but, you know, and when we argue, like the dog thing, it is just the stupid, I love the dog, but like she goes under the table or she barks at us or she, you know, and I'm like, could you please like get out of here because we just have to get through this, right?
Yeah.
And with a child, I cannot even imagine because
it's
things
hard.
don't even get addressed. At least we have the time to
Yeah.
To go through all the motions, right? Like,
but it's not the words that you're saying to each other that the kid or the fur kid hears.
Yeah.
It's the tone, and it can invoke fear and insecurity.
Right? Yes,
so
exactly.
So it doesn't matter that it's a flesh baby or a fur baby. They still get scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they feel like they don't know where you're going with this. And especially if you're both angry, then they sense that lack of control.
Yeah.
And who's protecting them.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous place to be. We've come a long way with our fighting. I feel like our fighting has really matured and grown up. But it's hard. Like, it's hard to... It's probably good that Maddie's, here, because it forces us to put a cap on it, or, pause it till later, because when you pause it till later, you can sort of decompress a little bit, and you take that edge off when you come back to each other. And because of her, we tend to argue over text messaging. So it looks like we're playing, like, the game of war. Like, I sunk your battleship, but we're both texting each other so that she can't hear anything we're saying.
That's excellent.
And we're saying it with... And then, you're kind of forced to think about it a little bit. Because you're not physically reacting to each other.
Wow.
So, we also both walk away to take our own space. I'm more of a provoker, though. Like, I need immediate results. I don't know how to explain that. Like, I can't just walk away. I just need to hash it out.
Wow.
And like I said last week when we were talking, like, I feel like sometimes when something happens and I don't understand it, or, we haven't come to an agreement, I need to stay. I feel like I want to stay angry until I'm okay to move on to the next thing.
Right.
And then when I move on to the next thing, then I'm totally okay to make amends. And I will feel bad and do my apologies, or I will let him apologize, whatever. I'm more open to resolution by that point, but in the moment I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, did your parents argue in front of you?
Yeah, they did. I think we argue more than my parents did.
Okay.
I think that they had spats where we have arguments, Did yours?
Yep. They argued. Oh, yeah. Everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also it wasn't in a bad way. It was a good way. They were always working through things.
So you saw them resolve it, too.
I saw them resolve it as well.
That's
yeah.
important.
And I saw the communication, and I also saw how the misunderstandings came to be, because when both people are hurt and they feel like they're not being heard, they're not hearing each other at all, right?
Yes.
So I think maybe forget the horoscope stuff. I think that's maybe a takeaway that I took from watching my parents, is I always thought, you know what, I will be heard, but I won't be heard until the other person knows that they're heard. And luckily for me, I have a husband that wants to hear my side. I tried that with another boyfriend that didn't give a crap about my feelings, and that relationship didn't work.
Well,
but
yeah, of course not.
So yeah, I think it can definitely work, but a lot of it has to do with, I think, what you're exposed to as a kid. And my parents, they didn't really protect us or hide things from us, or kind of beat around the bush with anything. Everything was quite out in the open, which I don't think was entirely a bad thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I think this is what my therapist has said to me. It's okay if you argue in front of her, as long as you resolve it in front of her. Mm-hmm. As long as she sees that arguing is productive.
Yes.
And no name calling.
Yeah.
And, there are some simple rules. Like, do you have simple rules for your arguing? What are they?
For sure. Well, the hitting below the belt. Like, and also, as much as you can, don't swear.
Yeah.
Sometimes the F-bombs are going to come out. But the name calling, is huge. That you can't take... You can... everybody thinks they can take it back, but it diminishes trust when you start calling each other's other names, or you're just disrespecting the other person. It's not good. But the other thing too is to think about a way to start your evening with your spouse, so that things, you start on a good note, because that's always the time that we argue, is at the end of the day when we finally see each other. And when Wayne and I first got together and we first lived together, I would come home and he would say, oh, hey, I'm in here, whatever room he was in. And I said to him, that I can't live with that. When I come home at night, or when you come home at night, we stop what we're doing and we go to the door and we greet that person with a kiss. Hello. I don't care what the hell you're doing. That's a good beginning for a beautiful evening, right?
Yeah.
And my parents always did that. They always ran to each other at the door, and hugged and kissed. And if they had an argument, whatever, but at least the beginning, the intentions were good. Yeah. But I think it's good to have things like that too. Not even you need to have rules about your arguing and hitting below the belt and all that stuff, but you also just nice little things like.
Well, I think we have an arrangement that even if we're really mad at each other, and we do this a lot more for Maddie than us, but also, I mean, we do it for us, but it is largely for Maddie. Even though we've had a fight or an argument, if he's going to work or I'm going to work, or we're both coming in or whatever, we always hug and give each other a kiss. So that shows her that, and it shows us that even though we're angry, we still love each other. Like, that's still there. There is one thing that I was watching Hitch the other night.
I love that movie.
Oh, okay. It's not a horror movie to you? Okay, good.
Only when his face blows up from the...
So Will Smith, I mean, it's a quote of his from the movie, but I think it is largely based on truth. He talks about the fact that 60% of communication is nonverbal. And this is what my therapist says all the time. 30% is tone. And this is what Greg and I argue about all the time. Tone. And that means that 90% of everything you're saying is nonverbal. The 10% is what you say, and that's very small in the large scale of your argument, right? So for us, the nonverbal is like I mentioned, I think, the other week. We look at each other and you notice something on each other's face, like you notice a downward smile or downturned mouth, and you notice something and you automatically perceive that as anger, disappointment, blaming or something, shaming, blaming, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you take that information in and that's what you respond to. And I think that's like body language is huge when we argue, and we've done exercises in therapy. Like even Greg the other day was like, I was saying something and it was my turn to talk, thank God we had a mediator there. And he just kind of like turned his head and threw his arm down on the chair. He didn't say a word. He just turned his head away from me because it was my turn to talk and threw his arm down on the chair. And it was so fucking dismissive. And I felt the anger rise in me right away. And I went from going in about to say something to going into attack mode. And, I'm sorry. Am I boring you? Sorry that I have something, And then it goes into this, like, for Greg and I, very childish routine. And then, my therapist stepped in and showed us both what we were both doing. Sadly, I had a part in that. But
oh my God, I can't believe it.
But the tone thing, the tone is everything to me. I mean, 60% is like body language, but to me, like part of that 90% of tone is larger than 30% to me, because the tone of the way someone will say something to me is so off-putting sometimes that I just can't I can't get past it. I can't try to figure out if they meant that or not. I'm just like, watch your friggin' tone.
Yeah.
I
agree.
How do people not hear the way they sound?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny. Speaking of the tone thing, so Wayne's born in England, but he doesn't have a British accent anymore.
Right.
They were back and forth.
You beat it out of him.
Now it's completely gone. But sometimes he'll say something to me, and I'm like, okay, easy on the tone.
Yeah.
Right? And then I think, okay, and then I say to myself, okay, imagine that in a British accent. Fine.
Really?
No problem. But
you just gave me an idea.
But it's so stupid. It's like, right? Like,
yeah.
And I don't know which tone bothers you the most, but to me, like, the tone that irritates me is when people come off like pompous or arrogant or they're better than me or whatever, right?
Or cut you off, or what you're saying is not important, or what you're saying is stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Condescending.
Yeah, like a condescending thing. Yeah. And it's so funny, like, but I do it to him too. I don't think he's imagining a German accent. It'll be worse. He'll be scared.
Unless he's imagining you in Lederhosen and nothing else.
Oh, that's true. With my sexy Halloween costume.
You're a sexy yodeler. Yeah. But I wonder, maybe what I need to do is bring in some translation machine and say to Greg, okay, we're about to have an argument. Can you argue with me in British?
Yeah, do it, or Irish.
I'll
Irish.
Do Swedish. Or
and then you both laugh so hard you'll forget.
We will laugh, and we will. Still kill each other. But I think that it's bad enough that you're arguing. But the funny thing is, like, when we dissect it, what we're arguing about is often less important than the way that we're arguing.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's a really big issue, but it really, and a lot of what we argue about is power. Like, co-parenting is so friggin' impossible sometimes. Imagine, like, this is where improv comes in. Imagine, like, two people having to agree on the same thing at the same time in front of your kid so that you both support each other and that kid cannot tear you apart and play one off the other. Like, these kids are little terrorists. They see that crack and they find it, right? So you're going to be like, something happens and automatically you both have to look at each other and go, yes, we both agree that this should happen next. And that never happens. So then it's like, you both have a very definitive opinion of how this should go. And you have to communicate that without words in a nanosecond and come to agreement in front of her.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, no wonder you fight all the time.
Exactly.
Like he'll say stuff, I'm like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you're getting your phone out. I'm texting you right now.
I'm texting you. And I'm also calling Children's Aid. And she's going into juvie. So, screw you. This is all your fault.
Oh, my God. But, it's weird. Like, even when I think back on my parents arguing all the time, they didn't argue all the time, but what their arguments were about, I remember, I was a little older. I guess I was a teenager. And so funny. I would come home from a high school dance and I'd be starving, and my parents always had tons of food in the fridge, and I still love chicken legs, like that's my favorite thing.
Ooh.
So I would go into the fridge at midnight and I'd have the fridge door open. I'd be grabbing the chicken leg, ready to chomp into it, and I'd be bent over, and all of a sudden, like, my dad would hear me, and he'd sneak up on me, and he'd smack me on the butt as hard as he could, and he'd go, "That's a big ass for a little girl," and I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was hilarious, because my dad's personality, and my mom would hear that. Don't you say that to her. How could you do this? But she was coming from a place of, her mother told her she was fat and it wasn't nice. Right? Yeah. So it's a negative thing. Like, that really affected her self-esteem. Yeah. And I'm coming from, my parents love me, support me. This doesn't affect me at all. And then the two of them would argue about the way my dad was speaking to me. And this, it's true. Like, I think the majority of the arguments were around child rearing, because you're coming from two different worlds. How are you supposed to both feel exactly the same about what you're communicating to your children? And if you were divorced, you wouldn't know what the other guy was saying.
Yeah, exactly. So, but not only that, you're asking two people. And then throw into the fact that one's a male and one's a female, and they both approach things differently anyway. We do actually speak different languages. So now you're both supposed to... I remember my dad, like, my dad's got very muscular legs, and I have my dad's legs. Which is great if you're a guy. And but my calves are very muscular. They're also large because they're muscular. And getting ski boots and rollerblades to fit, or knee-high boots, oh my God. So my dad used to say to me, "Those aren't calves, those are Holsteins."
And did that bother you?
No.
No, because you have a lovable, wonderful daddy.
And, I think because he supported me in so many other ways. Like, he didn't think I had a body issue. He didn't look at my body and think anything was wrong with it. If he was trying to say to me, those calves are like kind of crazy, you should put them in a barn, then
exactly. I know. And I knew when my dad whacked me on the butt, he was like, he's proud, right? I look like his sister, a good German stock. Like, he wasn't... You know? Oh, God.
Well, we'll get into body issues later.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm going to ask our listeners to weigh in here, guys. What's Monica going to do? Is she going to dress as a slutty Rubik's Cube? Or is she going to not only develop the recipe, but make it and shoot a picture?
Oh, God. Hey, that just got add-ons.
Hashtag it. Well, we need
back
proof.
To the Rubik's Cube.
We need proof. I want to see that candy corn margarita. That'll teach you to spew off. Anyway, guys, happy Halloween. Thanks for joining our podcast. And I gotta do it. We'll see you ghouls next week.
Ghouls.
Yes, yeah. That's